This story is based on a real incident. When some mountaineers got stuck on the peak of Mount Everest, and they remained trapped there for many days. At the beginning of the story, we are shown that in the year 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay were the first humans who climbed Everest for the first time. After that, very few people climbed Everest because climbing Everest means death. But in 1992, a man named Rob Hall made it his business, and he started taking people to Everest. Rob prepares to take another team to Everest. Before leaving, Rob's wife says to come back soon because she is pregnant. Rob says that nothing can stop me from coming back, and after that, he sets out on his journey. The date is March 30th, 1996. After this, many travelers reach Kathmandu, Nepal. Rob Hall's company is called Adventure Consultants, and with Rob's team, there are many people including Beck, Doug, John, and many others. Altogether, this is a team of 13 people. Their entire journey is of 40 days, and they have to reach the peak of Everest by the afternoon of June 10th. Now, from Kathmandu, the entire team reaches a place called Lukla at an altitude of 9,383 feet by helicopter. After that, they all walk ahead from there and reach their base camp at an altitude of 17,600 feet. Here, there are people from many countries who want to climb Everest with different companies. On April 23rd, this entire team climbs up to a height of 31,300 feet, and here there is a shortage of oxygen. Here there is a camp where they all stop and take oxygen too. Now all these people move forward from here, where they face a lot of trouble while climbing the mountain. Still, they keep going ahead and climb up to 24,000 feet. Now from the lower camp, Helen, who is in Rob's team, gives Rob information about the weather, that the weather is changing rapidly. But the weather has changed its path. But if they don't go towards the north, then there can be a huge disaster on the 11th. Rob says there is no such thing as weather here, and he starts climbing the steep slope of the mountain with his whole team. Here, the wind is very strong, and it is difficult to take even a single step forward. Here, they all decide that now they will not move ahead, because going ahead means death. But on Friday, May 10th, the weather suddenly becomes completely calm, and there is no sign of a storm. And at night, 12:30 a.m., they decide to climb further. From here, the route to reach the mountain peak is of 12 hours, and they all start moving ahead with the hope that in just a few hours they will fulfill their dream. After this, they reach 27,600 feet, and the time is 4:39 in the morning. Here in their team, there's a man named Beck. He starts having some problem in his eyes. Things are becoming blurry for him, because just a few years ago, he had an eye surgery. Now when the remaining people move ahead, they see that there are no ropes above, and now they start fixing ropes here because without ropes they can't climb even one step. And from here, 3 people decide to return because the winds here are very strong, it is very cold, and their oxygen has also run out. That's why even being so close to their destination, they don't want to take the risk and return back. Now the place where their whole team is, it's at a height of 28,740 feet. And when people reach such a height, they get hypothermia. Hypothermia happens due to lack of oxygen, in which a person feels heat, the tongue starts stammering, and anger also comes. As people climb higher, they face many complications like swelling in the brain, water filling in the lungs, and all this can be the cause of death. Now they fix the ropes and prepare to climb further up the mountain. And at 1:14 p.m., they reach the peak of Everest. They have achieved what they wanted to do. Rob and his team are very happy, and after a while they decide to return. According to the plan, they should have returned by 2 p.m., but here they all get late, and now clouds start gathering on the mountains, and none of them can even breathe because everyone's oxygen has run out. Now as they have come a little down, another man from their team named Doug is coming up. Rob stops him, but he says if he doesn't go up today, he will never come again. And Rob takes him up with great difficulty. Doug's condition is bad, but he reaches the top of Everest, and when they start descending from there, Doug's condition has worsened badly. He is almost unconscious, and now both of them are stuck up there. And he tries with great difficulty to bring him down with the help of ropes. But then a strong storm starts, and Rob leaves Doug in a place with great difficulty and goes to get oxygen. He tells Doug not to move from here. But Doug's brain has completely gone numb, and he also starts coming behind him. Rob doesn't know about this, and Doug falls into a crevasse and dies. Here Rob is also extremely exhausted and sits down right there. Then one of his companions comes who has found half an oxygen cylinder and gives it to Rob. These two start descending in the storm. Altogether, 13 people are stuck above, and the storm keeps increasing. By now, contact with the camp is completely broken. But when the storm stops, Rob receives a call and says, "I can't even move," because his hands and feet are frozen. They tell him that he has to come down by any means because there are still strong winds up there. But Rob says, "I won't be able to come," and after that their connection cuts off. Now the team below says call Rob's wife and put her voice on satellite phone so that hearing his wife's voice will give him courage. And they do that. They make Rob talk to his wife. Rob's wife says, "You have to keep moving. In a little while, the sun will come out. Just come down somehow." Rob is facing a lot of problems there because the winds are very strong and he's having great difficulty breathing without oxygen. Rob says, "My hands and feet are frozen." His wife says, "You have to keep moving. Blood circulation must not stop." And then Rob tries to get up from there. And the people who went to save Rob above can't go up because the winds are too strong and they have to return. Rob says, "I will have to stay here one more night," because he cannot get out of there alone. Meanwhile, Rob's wife is very worried for him and says she wants to talk to him. She says, "You have to come home. I'm waiting for you." Rob tells his wife, "I won't be able to meet Sarah." Actually, the baby in his wife's womb is a girl, and Rob had already named her Sarah. Rob says, "Forgive me. I won't be able to meet her," because Rob understands that he cannot get out of here, and this is his last moment. Rob's wife says, "Don't say that. You can't give up." Rob says, "I love you very much. Take care of yourself." And then their phone gets disconnected. On the other side, Beck, who is having trouble seeing, had come down some distance with the people descending. But at night, in the storm, everyone is left, and those who were left there have all died. But Beck is still alive, and he starts hallucinating. That means seeing illusions. He sees his wife and children, and with all his strength, staggering. He moves forward and reaches the lower camp where other people are. But his condition is very bad, and if he doesn't get medical help and is not taken down, he will die. When his family learns about this, Beck's wife says she will arrange a helicopter. Helen, who is in Rob's team, says the air pressure above is too high. A helicopter can't go there. But Beck's wife calls the American embassy in Nepal and pressures them to help Beck. And they send a helicopter for Beck. And with great difficulty, they manage to rescue Beck with the help of the helicopter. On the other hand, Rob cannot come down from there and remains on those mountains forever with the other people left. All of them die. Beck is brought down and treated. But because the blood in his hands and nose was frozen, they were decayed, so his hands and nose have to be amputated. But Beck's family supports him, and even today, he lives with his wife and children. In July 1996, Rob's daughter is born, and his wife names her Sarah, just as Rob wanted. And with this scene, this movie and this true story end.